Hello there, I hope you are doing good. I'm Ezrah and I've just released my new PDF sewing pattern, the Iolanda dress. And today's video is a tutorial. I'm going to show you step by step how to sew this beautiful vintage inspired ruffle dress. This PDF sewing pattern is available in English and in French, and you can get it on my Etsy shop. I will leave the link in the description down below this video for those who want to check it out. So without further ado, let's get started. I begin by assembling my A4 pattern. Next, I'm going to cut my size. The design of the Iolanda dress plays a lot with volume, so I advise you to use woven light to medium weight fabric with a rigid texture, such as cotton poplin, linen or viscose. But personally, I'm very into upcycling, eco-fashion. So for today's tutorial video, I'm gonna use two bed sheets. The white plain one is made of linen and the printed one of cotton. And very important note, make sure your fabric is clean and ironed before laying your pattern pieces on it. Be careful to place the pattern according to their grading line as well. While cutting, do not forget to transfer all the marks and notches from the pattern pieces onto the fabric. Now that we've got all the pieces, we can start with the sewing part. I will start by sewing the strips. You should have 6 strips in total, 2 for the opening at the center back, 4 for both sleeve scuff. Moving on to the sleeve scuff, we should have 2 rectangles. The first one cut on the lining. I've used it because the lining I'm using is very thin. The second one cut on the main fabric. Mark the seam allowance, which is 1.5 cm. On the main fabric right side, fold, then iron it. We can now place the strips parallel to the fold line on both sides of the rectangle. Right side to the right side, sew the 2 rectangles together, letting the fold side completely open. I just wanna turn the rectangle to show you how the other side looks. As you can see, the strips are inside the rectangle. Stitch from the fold line, then down. Clip and trim it. At this stage, you're almost done with your cuff. You can turn it on the right side and see the result. To sew the collar together, you will proceed exactly the same way you did for the sleeves cuff. Now we are going to work on the bias binding that you will need for the sleeves and center back slit. You should have 3 bias in total, 2 for both sleeves and 1 for the center back. Moving on to the sleeve, start by sewing the bias on the slit. I've seen this method on Instagram and decided to test it, and I must say that the end result isn't quite satisfying. But the good news is I've recorded a second video where I hacked this pattern, so you will be able to see a simplest and more efficient way on how to sew a slit on that video that is going to come out soon. But until then, I've put some links that could be helpful to you regarding that matter in the description box down below. Next, white stitch machine the sleeves cap to create gathers. Sew the sleeve together on the side and gather the sleeves hem. To create gathers, sew 2 rows of long straight stitches. These 2 rows will prevent your fabric from twisting and will give you a very neat result later on. Pull the bobbin thread because it moves easier than the taut thread. Push the fabric along the thread until it matches the length of the cuff. As you can see, we have a very neat gathers. We are now ready to sew the cuff on the sleeve. You will have to sew the lining, meaning the unfolded side of the cuff, to the wrong side of the sleeve. Sew all the way along. I overlocked the seam to have a neat finish, but you can also use a zigzag stitch on your machine. Flip the cuff off. Press the seam allowance inside the cuff. Cover the inside exposed seam with the cuff's pre-fold edge and top stitch. Moving on the top of the dress, start by sewing the slit on the center back panel. Sew the center back and center front together. To sew the collar on the central panel, you will proceed exactly the same way you did when sewing the cuff onto the sleeve. Use the notches on the collar to guide you in this step. Sew the back and front ruffles together at the shoulder line. Then hem the outer part. Usually we use the double fold hem method for this, but I chose the easy way to save time. I overlock, fold, and then stitch the hem. To finish off the side ruffle, gather the inside part. Sew the side back and side front together. Place the ruffle on, starting from the side front's waistline to the side back's waistline, and once again use marks and notches as a guide. Match ruffles and side panel shoulder line, ruffle bust notch to side panel bust notch, and so on. Baste stitch to maintain the ruffle in this position. At this stage you should have something looking like this, and the next step is to sew the side panels to the center panel. To finish off the top of the dress, attach the sleeve. If you've transferred all the notches from the pattern, this part shouldn't be complicated. You just need to match the notches on the armhole to the notches on the sleeve. Moving on to the skirt of the dress. Sew the front and back yokes together on the side. Sew the lower ruffle pieces 2 by 2 at the center line. Sew the back and front ruffles together on the side, and as we did with the top's ruffle, we are going to wide stitch machine the inside part to create gathers and hem the outer part. The next step is to sew the lower ruffles to the yoke. You can still use the notches on the yoke and the ruffles to guide you on this part. This pattern has been made in a way that you create an elastic case at the same time you sew the top and skirt together. This is why it's very important at this stage that you've marked the seam allowance, the waistlines on the top and the skirt. Fold and iron the top seam allowance toward the wrong side. Fold and iron the skirt seam allowance toward the right side. Now you have to sew the top's hem on the skirt waistline. sew along the skirt waistline. Pull out the skirt. Place the skirt hemline toward the top waistline. Sew along the top's waistline. Make sure to leave a few centimeters unstitched seam to insert the elastic later on. You can insert the elastic from here. All you need to do now is to close this seam to finish off the entire dress. And that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I can't wait to see your creation. So if you make this dress, I will obviously put the link to the PDF pattern on the description box down below. Do not forget to tag me. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye!